Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good day, good whenever you're listening to us. Welcome to another episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark, the weekend edition for January 6, 2018. I am, of course, your narrator supreme, Mr. Robb Robot Shlomo, coming to you from Chevy Road Studios. And with us, as always, is Mr. Tom Connors.
How are we doing, good sir?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. So far, weekend's been okay. It's cold as it's unbelievably cold here.
You're out there where they're getting the worst of it sounds like.
Yes, the temperature is 0. I went outside. Someone asked, "What's the temperature?" I'm like, "There isn't any." So, okay. We got a bit of a lean, mean fight machine of a show. Why don't we kick it off? There's actually some DC news coming our way.
Walter Hamada is the new head of DC Films, following a recent announcement that Walter Hamada had been tapped to oversee the DC film division at Warner Brothers DC Entertainment. President and Chief Creative Officer Geoff Johns took to Twitter to congratulate Hamada in his new promotion. This, of course, is according to our friends over at Heroic Hollywood. Geoff Johns' tweet said, "Welcome aboard, Walter. Thrilled to be working with you. It's been a blast on Shazam." Go ahead, Rob.
Shazam!
Now it's off to the rest of the DCU and get a Twitter account. In his new role as the head of DC Films, Hamada will work closely with Johns, shaping the future of the films based on the brand. As mentioned before, Johns' tweet says that they have worked together on the upcoming film Shazam! From director David Sandberg, and will continue to develop DC films together for the foreseeable future. So, Rob, what do you think about this?
Well, he has an extensive horror background that I've noticed. Yeah, he worked on It. He's worked on I think he worked on Annabelle's Creation.
You were thinking, I was going to say the Conjuring franchise.
Conjuring franchise, yeah.
Yes.
If he's the right guy, then great. I mean, but I can't help but think he had his first meeting with Geoff Johns and, "Hey, Walter, great to have you on board. Hey, listen, I got all these ideas." "Yeah, that's nice, Jeff. Just go play outside for a little while."
Well, and, it's been one of those things where we're kind of curious as far as what Geoff Johns has really contributed to this point. What is his fault? What isn't his fault? How much power he has now? Obviously, as we just heard, this guy is kind of the new leader. So like you said, he could just turn around and tell Jeff, go play over there.
I think Geoff Johns picked the font for Suicide Squad. I think that's what his contribution is.
So this is not surprising. We knew they were doing some shaking up over there at DC. Expected some announcements like this. I am a little surprised that Geoff Johns is still around in such a high capacity, but we did get some news that he was going to be sticking around, so that's not too surprising. We have brought up that he has a pretty extensive background in comics, as most of you listening probably know. Whether or not he's the right guy for this is still in question, but I guess we'll see how it goes forward here for the next few years, and we'll see how the next few films go. Basically,
next few years, you're giving Warner Brothers way too much credit.
Well, they've only got one movie coming out next year, or this year, I mean,
which is
Aquaman.
Oh,
and then we got Shazam next year, and I think
Shazam!
I'd have to look anymore. I can't even keep their schedule straight because I don't even think they can keep their schedule straight anymore. But anyway,
everything is a constant state of flux without.
He seems like a Warner boy. He's been working with the company for quite some time, clear back to the early 2000s. So, it's just a standard promotion. He seems like a safe bet kind of thing in a way. He's mostly had success, it seems like, outside of a few misses.
Have to see what he can do. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, for the roundup.
Well, buckaroos, time to saddle out that horse and head out the barn. We're going to have ourselves a roundup. Yeehaw! Boy, that never gets old, does it?
Nah.
For the roundup, we got, not a whole lot of news being the weekend, so we culled actually some more of the interesting things, and you may question why I find this interesting. CBS has renewed Young Sheldon for season 2 in a sure sign of the upcoming apocalypse. Variety is reporting CBS has renewed Young Sheldon for a second season. The Eye announced Saturday that its hit freshman comedy, a spin-off prequel from its long-running, successful sitcom The Big Bang Theory, will return for 2018-2019, making it the network's first official renewal for next year. And if young Sheldon wins, that means we all lose.
I saw one episode. That was enough.
Just the previews didn't even look that interesting to me. We don't get to cover a whole lot of music news on Midnight's Edge. I really do wish we would, but it's more to do with the state of music these days. But this is sort of music related. Jesus Christ Superstar Sarah Bareilles. Is it Bareilles or Bareilles? I think it's Bareilles. Sarah Bareilles to play Mary Magdalene in NBC live staging. This comes to us from Deadline. Singer-songwriter and actress Sarah Bareilles has been tapped to co-star opposite John Legend in NBC's upcoming special Jesus Christ Superstar Live in Concert, which airs Easter Sunday, April 1st. Bareilles will play Mary Magdalene in the concert staging of the iconic rock opera along with Legend, who plays Jesus Christ, and rock icon Alice Cooper, who plays King Herod.
Oh my God.
The production in front of a live audience at the Marcy Armory in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, will be directed by British theatre director David Leveaux. So, actually, and for you younger kids out there, Jesus Christ Superstar was a very big-time musical on Broadway for quite a number of years. But if you've never seen Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie version, even if if musicals are not your thing, it's pretty trippy, man. It really is. It's weird. It is weird. It's very of its time. But anyway, moving on. I don't know if you've ever watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
A couple episodes here and there. I'm aware of it.
It wasn't horrible. It was your standard Friday night family viewing. Kiernan Shipka is going to be starring in Netflix's Sabrina the Teenage Witch series. Now, this comes to us from Deadline. Netflix has found its Sabrina, Mad Men and Feud, Betty and Joan alum Kiernan Shipka has been tapped to star as the titular heroine in Netflix's upcoming original series based on the Archie Comics graphic novel, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Now, actually, this is where it differs from the sitcom. Tonally in vain.
Totally was good, right?
Totally. Like totally.
Like totally.
Tonally, in the vein of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, this adaptation finds Sabrina wrestling to reconcile her dual nature, half witch, half mortal, while standing against the evil forces that threaten her family, and the daylight world humans inhabit. So it sounds like they're going more Buffy the Vampire Slayer, really.
I guess.
Well, anyway, that's what's that. So
it does. It sounds like they're trying to really
they're trying
modernize it in a way that's been overdone already a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, we already have Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, that was actually really good. And we're totally gonna flip it on its head, and we're gonna do a Sabrina that the world has never seen. It's gonna be innovative storytelling. Oh yeah, we've heard that.
They're
before.
Gonna break new ground, like totally break new ground.
Yeah, the sitcom wasn't bad though. The sitcom, yeah, Caroline Ray.
That's kind of where I'm like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from. The tone of this story has always kind of been, it's set in a world where witches exist and all this kind of shit. But that's the joke.
Yeah,
is that they live an everyday, normal, average life.
Yeah, this
just sounds like they're trying to make it dark and deconstruct it.
Yeah. The whole hook of it was kind of like Bewitched back in the 60s,
right? Or the Munsters, or all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
they are the ones that don't fit in, but they perceive themselves as normal, and everybody else is abnormal. But it looks like we're gonna totally deconstruct it. You know, it's gonna be innovative storytelling. Yeah, okay, whatever. We actually have some sad news. A loss from the world of Star Trek and a loss from the world of comedy. John Paul Steyer has died at the age of 33. Now, if you don't recognize that name, he was on Star Trek The Next Generation, and he played Alexander Rozhenko, the son of Worf. He was on the episode Reunion. Other actors, actually, Brian Bonsall actually later played the role at various ages, but he actually did make a first appearance as Worf's son, Alexander. And we have had a loss from the world of comedy. Jerry Van Dyke, sadly, brother of Dick Van Dyke. You knew him from the series Coach. He has passed away at age 86.
Very funny guy.
Very funny guy, actually. He had a great episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show where he was sleepwalking, and actually that was very talented. I played the banjo, sang, danced, did a
I would argue he was even funnier than Dick.
phrasing, but yeah, he can hold his own. Actually, probably every bit as talented as Dick Van Dyke.
That's what I mean. I mean, he was very underappreciated compared to Dick Van Dyke, but like you said, on shows like Coach, he really got to shine. So.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, we don't like to leave on a down note. We like to be very positive. Leave on an up note. We actually have some birthdays to acknowledge, back by popular demand, right?
Not like it ever went anywhere, but we did. We did a poll to make sure that, because we had a few people complain about the birthdays, but the poll was overwhelmingly in favor of keeping the birthdays, so here we go.
Yes, on January 5th, aptly named January Jones. Now you know her as Emma Frost from X-Men First Class. Yes, she turns 40. Bradley Cooper. Also on Mad Men. That's right, yes. Also on Mad Men. Not on Mad Men, but Bradley Cooper turns 43.
Who is Rocket Raccoon? Marvel connection. There's a lot of Marvel connections on the birthdays today, actually, for the next few days.
And if I had to actually choose someone to play Dirk Pitt, it would actually be Bradley Cooper now. So
he's a good actor.
Yeah. Deadmau 5. Is that how I'm pronouncing it? Deadmau 5?
I think it's Dead Mouse is how you're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah.
Well, it's written
DJ. Yeah.
It's written Deadmau 5.
I know. That's how he spells it.
Take a spelling class, would you please? He turns 37, whatever he does. He's a DJ?
Yeah.
Okay. Not the Howard Stern kind of DJ, but he's like a DJ. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Diane Keaton. You know her from various movies, such as Reds with Warren Beatty.
Oh, she's been in Godfather.
She was in The Godfather. She was frequent co-star of Woody Allen. She was in Love and Death. She was in Sleeper. She was in
the most famous of his movies that beat Star Wars,
Annie Hall,
for Best Picture, and didn't she also win an Oscar for that as well?
Yeah, I believe she did. Yes, like I said, Annie Hall. She kicked off the whole craze with women wearing men's neckties. Actually, that came
very
from that movie,
upfront in the women's movement.
Absolutely, yes. So, anyways, she turned 72. Clancy Brown. Now, if you don't recognize that name, Tom, why don't you fill people in who Clancy Brown is?
Oh, man, this guy has one of the longest careers, and you should know who he is if you don't. Of course, most people remember him best as the Kurgan from the Highlander film, the first one. He also is very well remembered from the Shawshank Redemption, where he played the head guard there. But a lot of people don't realize that he did the voice of Lex Luthor in the original Superman cartoons all the way up through the 90s Superman cartoon, all the way up through Justice League and several other places. And he also does the voice of Mr. Crab and several other cartoon characters. I mean, this guy's IMDb is longer than...
Daredevil, DuckTales, The Mighty Ducks. Oh, man. He was a voice actor in the Green Lantern series, Star Wars Rebels. Check out his filmography, his list of credits. Because
most people probably know who he is from just what we've said now. They're, that guy. But yeah, he's he's been around.
An impressive list of acting credits. Well, he turns 59. Happy birthday to him and many more. Robert Duvall, actually, speaking of The Godfather, as we said before, Diane Keaton, and such films as Tender Mercies. He was also in one of my favorites, MASH. He turns 87. From the world of music, Marilyn Manson turns 49. I used to like Marilyn Manson a lot better in the 70s when he was called Alice Cooper.
One of our Facebook group moderators does a lot of work for Marilyn Manson's website and stuff. So
so cool.
Rianne did, yeah.
Oh, so cool. January 6th, celebrating birthdays. Actress Kate McKinnon, you know her from Saturday Night Live, and
that other movie.
That shall remain nameless. She turns 34. Actor Eddie Redmayne, you know him from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And you know him from the Stephen Hawking movie. I can't remember the name of the title of that off the top of my head.
I can't remember, but it was a good movie, but it's a horrible title.
he turns 35. Rowan Atkinson. You know him as Mr. Bean. He turns 63. Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead and from the upcoming Hideo Kojima video game.
He was also very
Death
famous
Stranding.
in Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints. He turns 49. Aaron Eisenberg turns 49. Now, if you don't recognize that name, he played Nog on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, he also played a different character on Voyager, too, as well.
Yes. Danny Thomas, a well-known actor, Danny Thomas, he was born on January 6th, 1912. He passed away in 1991, sadly no longer with us. John Singleton, he turns 50. Director
Boys in the
of
Hood
Boys in the
director,
Hood, yes.
and a bunch of other stuff, yeah.
And celebrating birthdays on January 7th is Nicolas Cage. You know him as the guy who was almost Superman.
Arguably the greatest overactor of all time.
Yes. The only thing he wasn't overacting in was Valley Girl. And I think he was overacting in that, too.
Oh, yeah, he was doing a shtick.
Yeah. He was almost Jeff Spicoli, but not quite. I don't want to go to Valley tonight. Dude, this party's lame. So that's what Fred said. But
ironically, most people don't know that he is, speaking of The Godfather,
yes,
his real name is Nicholas Coppola, and he is the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola.
Actually,
but he changed his name so he wouldn't get favored because of the name.
Yes, and actually he took his name, the stage name, from Luke Cage.
Yep. Indeed. He's also obviously a very big comic book fan. Most people know that because he even named his son Kal-El, but anyway.
Yes, and Kal-El is probably going to school with Apple Paltrow or whatever.
At least he can go, my dad was almost Superman.
Not to get too off topic, my mother always says about celebrities giving their kids names, unusual names. Like, oh my God, how's this kid gonna grow up with such an unusual name? I said, Mom, he's gonna be going to school with all the other, like, Kal-El Cages and Apple Paltrows of the world, and Moon Unit Zappas or whatever. And
pretty much where he's going to school, the guy named Steve.
Yeah.
Is the outcast.
John. What kind of name is John?
Jenny. Yeah. What a lame old name.
But anyway, rounding out the birthdays, Jeremy Renner, you know him from the Bourne Redemption or whatever it was.
I don't know. Reaction, Reduction.
I'm a big fan of the Bourne books, but even I had no interest in seeing that movie. But anyway,
but of course, we know him best.
As Hawkeye.
I'm like, God, that's that kid from National Lampoon's Senior Trip. You ever seen that movie?
Not in ages.
Because it was funny because all of a sudden, here's Jeremy Renner getting Oscar nominated for, what movie was that? The Hurt Locker?
Yes, The Hurt Locker.
And all this other stuff coming out, and I was like, he ain't done nothing in years. Last thing I remember seeing him in was National Lampoon's Senior Trip way back in like 94. And all of a sudden he's like on the Hollywood A-list out of nowhere. It was just weird.
That's how it works sometimes. That's really, I mean, you know, well, that really, I mean, really, you struggle and struggle and struggle. And then
he also played, he was in some horror movie. I can't remember if it was, I think it was a Jeffrey Dahmer story or something like that too. Some straight to video crap. That's the only other thing I remember him in.
Oh, man.
Before all this, but yeah.
Well, anyway, Jeremy Renner turns 47 years old. Hawkeye, happy birthday. And not Hawkeye from MASH.
Not the MASH Hawkeye, yes. But.
Yes. But Hawkeye, happy birthday. And those are the birthdays. And if you like us wishing people happy birthday, and if you like the show, you can click subscribe and you can click the bell icon. That way you'll be notified whenever new content is uploaded. And if you really like what we do here at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark, you can consider supporting the show through Patreon. Patreon supporters will get all kinds of lovely perks, won't they, Tom?
Indeedy do.
Yes, you will get early notification of new episodes. You will get exclusive audio. You'll get outtakes. You'll get bloopers. You'll get lost episodes. You will get uncut audio from mini documentaries, including the Alien mini documentary. And yes, I'm gonna keep bringing that up. Okay. You'll get all kinds of bonuses. You'll get the behind the scenes making of the Edge, behind the Edge videos, which detail the life and times of Midnight's Edge and how we came to be. And as always, if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, then please click subscribe and please share this video with your friends, because as I always say, we can't do this without you. So one more time, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Isn't that right, Tom? We'd like to thank everybody.
We love to thank everybody.
We love to thank everybody. Thank you. I thank that guy out there and listen to us in Provo. Thank you. You and listening to us in Waukegan. Yeah,
Those two guys in Australia.
Those two guys in Australia. The guy, Zutroy over in Romania. Thank you. Anyway, one more time. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo.
I am Tom Connors.
And we will catch you next time.